Okay, we're rolling now. Okay, June the 23rd already. Huh. We're a couple days past the longest day of the year here. Guess 6 months from now is the shortest day. In Canada, it's a big deal. Okay, northern areas, not so much at the equator. Okay. Anyway, caught up before wrath. Why the rapture must come first. Yeah, another American pre-tribber, okay, was yesterday. Yeah, People's Venerable Sunday. Okay, day of rest for them. I can talk about the Seventh-day Adventists being so legalistic. Saturday, they don't even understand the true Sabbath. Passover is a high annual Sabbath with a weekly Sabbath. 2 Sabbaths, 2 rest days in the same week. Oh, what? See, because they keep pagan Easter. Okay, yesterday this fella here, know him a little bit, does renovations. He was really interested in talking to me. He gave me his business card about doing business, doing renovations for a Nigerian fella I know. I didn't tell him the guy was Nigerian. We'll see what happens there. I went there with a Nigerian friend. She got laid off from the oil industry. Okay. She seemed to be more interested in this. He teaches hyper faith type stuff. Okay, was always teaching about faith like King David. Why? I think he's actually practically royal family, or where do you get the money from for the houses here in Calgary, Alberta? He has an airline to from South Carolina to offshore Guyana, has a guy working for him, helping him do renovations. He's from Guyana too. Why? Yeah, can't get somebody in Canada to work real cheap, huh? I don't know what the deal is there. Okay, we'll find out more. Anyway, I continue with some of this. Didn't fast. What? What is he saying? Jesus didn't fast. When Satan came in the wilderness, he just finished 40 days of fasting. What? What's he teaching? Didn't pray. He said pray unceasingly. Doesn't mean you go around talking all the time. We should listen. Eyes to see and ears to hear. I hear what he's saying. I really debate some of the things he's saying.
He didn't jump up. He didn't jump up and oh God, help me. He used the word.
Okay, we can jump ahead a little bit here to 6:36.
You leave me alone.
Here.
Thinking the same way. One of us try to help them to go that way, and that one wouldn't go because they do not have the right mindset. And then they're coming.
Talks about leaving friends and stuff.
You are trying to
Move toward God.
your life, and someone comes along and tries to discourage you. Stay
Yeah.
away from me.
Lots of discouragers, naysayers, including preachers.
Even if you have to lose friends, stay away from that kind of attitude. The Bible makes it very clear. Very clear. If God wants to move you from faith to faith and from victory to victory, that's what the Bible says.
Go back here a little bit.
You guys have the right mindset.
Hey, now we're going to cover something there. 1 Peter 3:7 talks about teachers, false teachers, coming unto the weaker vessel. The reference is we all have different weaknesses. Okay, David had a weakness, lust of the eyes, lust of the flesh, pride of life. In this situation, he's referring to teachers coming to the wives, causing division. It's like a president and vice president situation. When the president is there, the president makes the final decision. But what's being taught? Well, let's get together, let's have a camp meeting, let's decide what the majority thinks. There's a warning there, and he just half covers it, but this is what's causing division in marriages. How many people have gone through a real split because they didn't trust God's arm to correct the husband? God's arm is not so short that he cannot lead. The women get more interested in some preacher. This is where my wife's at. I get kicked out the door. She's hired as an accountant. The Filipino, she's Filipino. The Filipino never talked to me for 2 weeks even on the tour to Israel. What? I think he's got the issue. Maybe somebody took advantage of his sister. But he had me put out the door. She goes there. She was cleaning houses yesterday when I went with somebody else here. She gets real jealous of other people. Well, maybe she should spend some time with her husband. No, she's doing her Hebrew stuff. Yeah, we learned some things, but don't stay in the same boat. Peter got out of the boat. This is not what these people are teaching. Stay in your tradition? Stay in your Sunday tradition? No. And that's very, very debatable. Pagan Easter bunnies and pagan Christmas. You can't nail your wife down to the floor like a Christmas tree. Jeremiah 10. The customs of the people are vain. They deck it with gold. They fashion it with nails and with hammer that move not. They are upright. And this is talking, I believe, about the Christmas tree. It's not some decoration. Okay? It's like, come on. See, they don't want to leave the traditions alone. They got their wife coming their way. And then the guy teaches what? This is causes division. God is not pleased with it.
God's goal for your life, and someone comes along and tries to discourage you.
Yeah, my friend wants me to go to the bar with him. No. I wanted him to come out of it. But he thinks that an odd whiskey helps him. Ha! Really? How many teachers teach? Oh, just in moderation. Do you actually believe a Nazarite? Jesus was from Nazareth. The community didn't even want, because they didn't have refrigeration like we have, and you had natural fermentation happening, and you have teachers that teach that Jesus turned the water into fermented wine at a wedding. Really? We call it grape juice. They didn't have steam distillation with hard liquors. When they called it strong drink is when it fermented. And it's clearly said it's for the aged and for the ill. It's more medicinal. My wife wants to try to take and dissolve these avocado. Some people say bake them. Well, they get all upset with us here at this place. We're moving out using too much electricity. He won't have a deck for us to barbecue, on and on and on. Okay, so we're going to try making some fermented juice. Yeah, it's in the refrigerator. I think if you leave it out long enough, it'll naturally ferment to dissolve, and it's supposed to be good for gout and arthritic problems. Okay, well, maybe try it as medicinal. Okay? Lose friends? Yeah, I've had to lose friends. Hey, basically lost my first wife. That was another reason. Oh, just a little moderation. She liked that idea. Who's she with? Just happens to be an engineer friend from high school. Oh, their younger sisters, all married professional people. What? But I'm the rotten egg. What? How many guys just, we make jokes about it. Happy wife, happy life. Does that mean you're doing the will of God? No. But that's what these teachers will teach, as long as a wife, and you're sitting there like this fellow ahead of me. Got the screen up there. Something about Elijah, and we got there a little bit late. Very, very clear. From faith to faith. I made a little comment here. From boat to boat. That's what most people are doing. He's going from boat to boat. Like the ark is sinking. Okay, what are they teaching? Just stay in the ark. Noah and Lot are in context. The opposite the building in Lot is tearing down. What are they doing? And what's he doing here? This is what I'm trying to show here. He actually had a dozen people here this time. See, most people, you think they got a congregation. I'm wondering why he's using a U.S. address while we're in Calgary, Alberta. Victory to victory. Whose victory is he talking about? So that he can have people working for him doing the renovations? I don't know what the guy's working for. He had to get him from Guyana. I really wonder why. Nobody in Calgary can hire? I one time they have a lunch once end of the month. Hey, my friend might go there. She thought he was pretty good. Well, yeah, she's quite immature in the faith. Hebrews 5b, elementary oracles of God. Does he teach the elementary oracles of God? You ought to be teachers by now, but he doesn't know what the elementary oracles are himself. Okay? Who holds the elementary oracles of God? The Jew. We label, well, that's the Old Testament. Well, they like to read Malachi. Oh, he likes that one, I think, because he wants donations given to him. And you get a tax deduction from an atheistic system. Hello, you don't have that in Nigeria or the Philippines or other countries. Okay? See? Oh, this is Zechariah. Got a little bit wet or something here. Malachi, that's where I want to go to. Malachi, chapter 3. Bring the whole tithes into the storehouse, huh? Okay? Oh, he likes that one. Send your donations, you mean, to him. Uses a U.S. address. Why? U.S. has 10 times the population in Canada. Maybe you'll get more donations. I don't know if he's so connected with a group in the U.S. or not. Maybe that's why he's got his plane out of South Carolina. Yeah, chartered plane from North Carolina, I think, to Guyana, offshore oil. He hired a guy from Guyana. Him and his wife was there. Okay. I wrote down Ezekiel 34 in this Bible. Okay. You are cursed with a curse. You have robbed me, this whole nation. Okay. Will a man rob God? They take it out of context. Oppress the hireling in his wages, and the widow, and the father. Oh. Only took me 8 months to get paid from the trucking company. Federal Labor Board said they owed me the money. Federal Labor Board in Canada is an absolute joke. Alberta here, the provincial laws aren't very good. BC is more stronger union, the coastal areas and stuff. Okay? But how'd you like to be 5 years away from your pension and your hours are cut way back? You can't even afford to live there anymore. Okay? So they're moving to Calgary, Alberta. Why? Why? It's illegal money coming in. Mainstream media is not telling us the truth. Okay? Do these preachers? No. Doesn't want to discuss much business, but when it came time to do some renovations for... Oh, then he was right interested in talking to him. We'll go out to the truck, his new hybrid truck, and gives me his fancy business card. Yeah. Okay, now all of a sudden he's interested in talking more. Oh, okay. When it comes to money in his pocket. Okay? Didn't want to upgrade his houses to photoelectric. Says, all my house is up to a Canadian fire code. I said, unfortunately, Canadian fire code is not up to other world standards. Norway made photoelectric smoke detectors mandatory 3 years ago. Take note here. Go home and check your smoke alarm. Okay? The U.S. is looking at upgrading it. Ionization is 50-year-old technology. It takes 30 minutes longer to go off from your smoldering fires. I've been talking to different city and provincial politicians here about this. Yakima, Washington, smaller area, small north town, north of Calgary, Alberta. People live there because they take the airport. It's on the north side, so the small city grew quite rapidly. Why? We use aviation lots. Okay? But Yakima, Washington, I've hauled produce out of there, and with our own semis, okay, is made photoelectric ionization mandatory. One guy at Prince's Auto, it's like Harbor Freight, says, oh, it's only a rental. Really? And what did this guy say? Oh, basically he said much the same. My houses are up to Canadian Fire Code. Left it at that. Was he really interested in helping the people? Or helping himself? Okay? Kind of plain yesterday. It's all about the money. He's trying to do God's will here. He thinks he's a big preacher. But send your donations to the U.S. address. He might not like it, me putting this on, if he finds out I'm doing this. That's for sure. But his one statement, hey, that could cause actually marital divisions right here. Who's sitting here? I could show other things in this situation. He just rents this building from a Lutheran group that have their rainbow flags. Even the one Lutheran pastor kind of rolled his eyes and thought, what? He knows. The Lutheran pastor knew. People brought that up. He turns off the camera. He's got the camera right there. You can see the camera on yet. Later on, he shuts off the camera. I'm just sitting at the back here. It came kind of late. Nonchalant, sitting at the back. Had the camera, my phone in my pocket, doing this. That's why should have it the other way around. So there's the camera right there. We can see the camera. Later on, he has the guy shut it off. Why? When he starts talking to, and he says, "You're a pastor. I know so much. I know. I can discern the spirits here." I thought, I wonder if he's going to say anything about me recording this. But I guess He didn't have the discernment about that, huh? It's like Joel Richardson. He can discern the book of Enoch, warns other people not to use it. It's not a canonical book. It's not in the Bible, but he uses it to justify his pre-trib view. I don't even know what the view is on this fella here. Is it? And most people were trying to fit both feet into one shoe. I showed that a few times. Both feet into one shoe. It does not fit. So a lot of people, more Americans are pre-trib. Tell that to people in other countries that have lost half their family or something. They don't have as much trouble coming out of pre-trib. Well, at least go to mid-trib. Guy in Lethbridge, Alberta, he's mid-trib yet. But you get involved with the Messianic Jewish people, learning some good things you learn. But what are they teaching? Like Joel Richardson, that has the foundation class? It's post-trib. Post-trib. Yeah. This is what my wife's into. You think it's not causing us division? Problems? Oh, she doesn't want to sell the house in the Philippines. Her mother's in New York. It was more for her mom and dad, but no, she had more calf strapped. My ex-wife, much the same. I could have traded the house off for a bakery in a small town, but no. It was actually near where her parents lived. My ex-brother-in-law, he talks to me. He knew what went down. No, she wouldn't even hear. Okay, here, Daniel. Talk about Daniel here a bit. Daniel 9. Do you want to take verse 27 and say it's in the future? It's in context with verse 26 and the rest of the chapter. Okay, there's Daniel. Okay, got the number. Daniel chapter 9 here. This is chapter 9. It says Messiah, King James. Look in the other versions. What does it really say? They want to teach it's all in the future yet. 27, separate from 26. What? You can make it say lots of things if you pick and choose and cut parts out. They used to take, I guess in history, they actually took a penknife and cut things out. Okay? Zechariah chapter 4. Chapter 5, the flying roll. Not the old commentaries. It wasn't for them to know the mysteries being revealed when we need to know it. Who were born after 48. The generations born after 67. Need to walk in the light and truth, lest the darkness overtake us. Peter got out of the boat, got dunked again, got rebaptized. It was the Holy Spirit that came on Jesus as example to us. It wasn't a bird. He didn't need to be baptized for salvation. What's being taught? Okay? The missile. Talent of lead from Shinner. The branch. He builds. This is Daniel chapter 6. The branch. I believe it should be capitalized. Maybe it is in the old King James 1611 version. I should look at that. He shall build. After he comes. Not before. What are they teaching? Here. Zechariah chapter 14. See? They're teaching that there's a resurrection from the Mount Olives. But what does the word of the Lord say? His written word. All the saints with thee. What? Where from? The Mount Olives? All the saints with thee. Okay? Zachariah was a keeper of cattle too, like Amos. How many out there actually know how to saddle a horse? Big Calgary stampede coming in. How many have delivered a calf? How many? See, we're not an agrarian society anymore. Okay? We give people a diploma, and do they actually know what they're doing? Okay? Feast of Tabernacles. 3 times it's listed. We're not even taught about it. Why? Yeah, I grew up around these places. Why? And what do they teach? Give itchy ears what they want to hear and cause division with marriages? Hey, I should have counted. How many were women? Where's the men? I've seen it at the Filipino groups. The men are out in the foyer discussing things among themselves. The women are running the show. The wife turns the neck, make jokes about it. She should be in the nursery listening on audio. She's manipulating, controlling. The one guy's wife left him. The denomination kicked him out as a pastor. Okay? What? Who's controlling what? And go from boat to boat. This is where we're at. Peter got out of the boat. Keep stressing this. Great earthquake. We taught her a little bit about that. As if there's a resurrection from the Mauna Loas. What are we being taught? We're being taught Canaanite views. Zechariah 14:21. It's in the Hebrew. I asked my wife, she was studying that. It's Canaanite. How come the new versions read trader or merchant? I wrote it in here. What? But you probably talked to this fellow? Oh, it doesn't. Why? How do I know that? Because he's still Sunday keeping. Give the Adventists some credit, but see, the problem is they haven't left Christmas and Easter because they really don't understand the term Sabbath. They're legalistic Seventh-day Saturday. The one guy knew when I said that. Yeah, his Filipino little truck all decked out like they do in the Philippines. No, he's got money. Okay, he can afford to do that. Meanwhile, they're asking more donations from families that have kids that can't even afford hardly to pay the rent to guys like this guy. Where'd he get the money? Okay, he ain't gonna like it if he finds out I'm doing this. Hey, he says, leave your friends. Leave your friends. Well, maybe he won't be a friend anymore. The angels of the Lord camped about. Okay? The angels of the Lord camped about. Let's go to here. Psalm 68. Okay. They say the rapture's not in the Old Testament. Really? Read Psalms 90. We're going to go Psalms 68 now. Something he said there. Okay. The chariots of God are 20,000. Well, remember, there's a story. I think Elijah meant to Eliza, open his eyes so he can see the chariots, and the hills were filled with chariots. I think this is talking about a different situation. Ascended on high. When? Took captivity captive. This is the resurrection, Matthew 27:52 and 53. Angels, as in Sinai. See, it's a repeat. As in Sinai. It doesn't say this is about Sinai. This is about captivity captive. For the rebellious also. Hey, the fallen angels rebelled. They were told not to be with the daughters of man. See, we read it as cannot have relations. Really? It does not say that. It says they do not. In other words, they are not rebellious. Samson was rebellious, but he repented. Didn't have the opportunity to be baptized. The thief on the cross didn't have the opportunity and didn't beat Jesus to heaven. But see what are being taught? We're taught out-of-body stuff. The Orthodox Jew still believes the Spirit hovers around for 3 days. Okay? That's why he resurrected Lazarus on the 4th day. The preacher here says, just believe and you'll never die. I said, well, Lazarus believed. He walked with Jesus and he died. But Jesus resurrected him. We need to be resurrected. There will be some that will not taste of death. But I believe most are from the last 1997 years, every 1,000 years. Psalms 90. Let's go to it. For 1,000 years in thy sight are but yesterday. Peter made a reference to 1,000. A day is 1,000 years. Come on. Where are we at in history? My wife packed her other menorah away. She had a Hanukkah here for a while. I didn't care for that. They add a couple more. Just add a little bit more. No. It says not to. And don't take away either. Take things out of context like this fellow's doing. 70 years. Well, some friends of mine haven't even made 70. Okay? And I'm at 70 now by my conception. Mary met Elizabeth. That's the conception. That's Hanukkah. Learn it. Maybe you can get the JWs, teenagers, to get their parents out of the JWs. People are going from boat to boat. The one guy only got involved with JWs because he didn't care for the twisted teaching of being eternally in torment. Okay? Well, what are most people teaching? That's Canaanite. And we fly away. What? In an airplane? They didn't have airplanes when this was written. The guy knew it when I shared Zechariah chapter 5. He says, how is that possible with missiles from Shinar, Iran? He knew that was written hundreds of years ago. I said 2,500 years ago. Hey, he's a believer now. Why? Despise not prophecy. But do they want to teach it? Did the young preacher want to learn it? No, he wasn't taught it in seminary and doesn't want to learn it. Whoso mocketh the poor reproacheth the maker. He that is glad. Yeah, we better not be glad in calamities. Okay? Whoso mocketh the poor reproaches his maker. Well, this fella, with some of his teaching, is actually to the point of mocking the poor. You're poor because of a fallen, downcast world. It says the Lord wants to lift you up out the dunghill. Yeah, but just by believing and staying in the same boat? No, they didn't even want to come out to the parking lot and help me fix the car in their back parking lot, the Hebrew group. Guy, don't even know, came from the daycare, talked to me a little bit. Did they offer? No, I got mocked for giving a guy $10 for gas. Yeah. But talk about division in our own home. Think that's us creating hardship? But he's virtually mocking the poor when he keeps on just saying, just believe, just believe. Hey, we all go through valleys and dips and problems and stuff. Just believe. No, it says, when you shall do his will, not somebody else's will, then you shall receive what is promised. Is he teaching that? No. Hallelujah. I sing that on the same LRT train and stuff now. People don't know, they can't see my lips moving. They wonder where's the voice coming from. Hallelujah. Got the camera on there yet. Should go further ahead. Show when you shut off the camera. All right, you got the camera off there. I see it. See, the camera's off there now. You don't see the white dot. So now he's talking to the people that are there. And he starts in, and pretty soon he has us raising our hands. And pretty soon he has us standing. And then he has us walking to the front. See, it's step by step. You know, instead of stepping out of the boat, it's step his way, more or less. Alfred. He ain't gonna like it, maybe, me doing this. Okay. But he said, hey, don't go the way of your friends. Yeah. What's he doing? I've had pastors turn on me, like the Filipino guy. Didn't even know what the doctrine of Nicolaitans was. It's about the clergy lording it over the laity. Yeah. Hey, of course God would have told me. Really? God isn't concerned about the majorities. He talks to the one who has position and responsibility. One lady I met in Kelowna, BC, while picking some fruit out there, she knew. People were encouraging her to leave her husband. She kept on praying, and one day he finally got up and let out. How did I find out? The kids, when the guy came in, Daddy, Daddy. She'll, okay. She's still praying for him. She didn't have to do a thing. What? God will take the very breath away. Is that why some people go through destructive things? Maybe. One pastor says, well, why did his sister get killed on the motorbike? Well, maybe. I don't know the reasons why, but why did Peter's door on the prison open up? Maybe because he got out of the boat and got dunked, got baptized again. Philip did not have to ask the Ethiopian eunuch if he'd already been baptized. The Ethiopian knew a little bit. He saw the water. Can I not be baptized? Repent and be baptized. Philip didn't have to go back and ask Peter's permission or somebody else's opinion. He just did it. Then the Spirit moved Peter to the coastal area. Okay? I had to be corrected a little bit about that too. No, he probably walked out there, left their nice little conference, camp meeting. They could say, well, where are you going, Philip? You should stay here. No, Peter was led by the Spirit to the wilderness to meet the Ethiopian. The Ethiopian was already reading. He already knew some of it. Didn't understand Jesus, Yeshua. So Peter explained that to him. So the guy wanted to go forward in it. He says, can't I not be baptized here again? How many times is Solomon baptized? Answer, well, at least every time he got married. See, we're taught just once is enough, even if it's an infant now. Yeah, this is where I got to. So I asked him out at Lake Camp here just east of Calgary, like down in Oklahoma, 1,400 being baptized. I wanted to get dunked again. The same guy was reluctant to do it in Jordan. In Israel was only there once. Some of these people are going twice a year. What? Send them more donations so you can be blessed more.
Your problem is not the hope. Your problem is your blindness.
Your problem is what? Sitting, listening, going from one boat to the next. Okay? The guy from Guyana used to be called British Guyana, down in next to Venezuela, has offshore oil. But why is he working for this guy? I don't know what vehicle he drives. I should have paid attention. Okay, I don't know what he's doing. But he wanted, in the standard, which church you go to. I go to the Church of the Living God. I learned that years ago when the JWs, our Mormons, came by. My kids were playing on the Mormon parking lot, half a block away. Okay? And they come by. He must have put a X my house off, because I would. What church do you go to? I go to the Church of the Living God. JWs didn't know what to say about that either. You ever been at a JW function? Wow. I get kicked out of these places. It says it in Revelation. You shall be kicked out. I told the guy from Ghana that what? I says, hey, you're having a bad day, a little bit depressed. I'll guarantee you that when you kicked out the door, your adrenaline will be pumping. So much for being depressed. We're not doing them well. We're just concerned about ourselves. Going from boat to boat. Okay? What's being taught? Okay? Malachi. Matthew. I go to this one. This is a major one I came to after I got kicked out by the Filipino guy. I'm doing some fasting like I'm doing now. Okay? Matthew 27. And the graves were open, and many bodies of the saints which slept arose, and came out of the graves. What? Rolled out, and they rolled up the city. No, the grave was down the hill. After his resurrection. See, he's first fruit, but fruits, plural, and went into the holy city. This is what the centurion was shocked about, not just the earthquake and stuff. They tried to bribe the guards to not say that them to say the body was stolen. Well, and they're still trying to hide this. Why? It doesn't fit into their theology of he only came once as a babe in the manger. Really? He walked with Adam and Eve. Enoch was in the first 1,000. Psalms 90. Okay? Every 1,000. And he didn't say just coming a second time. He came every 1,000 years. Where are we at? We're almost to the end of the 2,000 years since this. How can we understand the present if we don't understand the past correctly? The April 8th solar eclipse is trying to wake us up. Timeline marker. No, the Hebrew calendar is not accurate. Okay? When the king reigned 40 years, could be in his 40th year. It could be in 40 years and 11 months. It's not accurate. The Gregorian calendar goes from approximate birth. We're not 100% sure. But we know when he was crucified. We know when the second temple was destroyed, 70 AD. We know these things. But what? What are they going to teach? Got to have the third temple first? No. Back to Matthew. Back to Matthew 24. We'll get over to Revelation about this. Matthew 24. Matthew 24. And false prophets. False. Where? Who's the false? Oh, that must be just a JW over the Mormon. Really? Are you sure? Shall arise and deceive. It says many. Many different types. Not just Mormons or JWs. Hello? And false. And because of iniquity, that's doing things knowingly and willfully transgressing the will of God. Look it up in the dictionary. Okay? Not just lawlessness like the other perversions read. Abound. The love of many shall wax cold. You take that word out too. How does wax in a candle turn cold? My wife has her Roman candle. I call it a Roman candle. 3-wave. This thing's like a blowtorch. 3 candles weave together. Okay? Does that Saturday night when she comes back, gone all day. I go sometimes in the basements for some of the functions. The guy wouldn't even talk to me out Chesmer. Another Filipino had me put out the door at a big function. He comes up with a big smirk on the face. I told him go blow. Okay. Here. Big smirk on their face. Lying through their teeth. Abomination of desolation. It's just not a dietary thing that causes the love to wax cold. Okay? Come on. There's scavengers of air, land, and sea. Read Isaiah 66. The lady at Soup Kitchen they have didn't even know about it. Okay? 1 Thessalonians 4. We're in there now. Okay? We'll go to it. Okay? Which sleep in Jesus. 1 Thessalonians, this is 5. Starts over here, 5. This is 4. Verse 14. So most people start at 15 or 16. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven. Oh, we like this pre-tribbers like this. Okay, I'm more mid-trib, but I believe every 1,000 years there's a catching up. But he says, which sleep. This is confirming Matthew 27, 52 and 53. People say it's not in the other Gospels, so Matthew was exaggerating. No, the guy down in Utah sharing with Mormons, hey, iron sharpeneth iron, so he's getting sharpened a little bit. Okay, second Adam, one guy says, well, so is Mormon. Well, I can't help it. They have an odd thing, right? Okay. But then they twist their doctrines around it. Abstain from appearances of evil. Some people think that's meaning go into the JWs. Hey, you won't be there very long if you start questioning what they're teaching. You want to be at a funeral service? That's what they're, instead of Passover celebration? Why? They were in mourning until he resurrected. That's what a JW's memorial service. They don't even take the bread and the juice. I took it and the guy was totally shocked. Unless you're part of the 144,000, you're not supposed to take this unless you have the confirmation in your spirit. They don't even believe in the spirit. What are you talking about? Here's 144,000. Okay? Those which were follow the Lamb, being the first fruits, plural, unto God. That is the day he was resurrected on. Okay? He died, it was in the grave before the annual Sabbath. Full 3 days and a full 3 nights in the grave. 72 hours later. Does not come to Sunday. It comes to Saturday night. And when the evening of Saturday, that is the beginning of the next day. He was already in the grave 72 hours. The stone only had to be rolled away for the ladies to look in. So it's very, very debatable. It's not Good Friday with part of a day and part of a night. Okay? I had to learn this. Okay? Some people think their older kids shouldn't have been married. These which were not defiled with women. What? Is God contradicting his word? He says we should be fruitful and multiply. It says if we burn with lust, it's better to marry. But Paul warned, there will be troubles. Okay? Why? Two-headed monster. What do I just give and go the way my wife goes? Hey, she went from the Sunday boat to the Messianic Hebrew boat. She won't get out of the boat. Says she loved me. Does she respect me? This is her grandson in San Diego. She didn't want to talk to the daughter-in-law, but wants to talk to the grandson. So now she has to talk to the daughter-in-law. What else is new? Okay? Go forward. Go forward. You can't nail them down to the floor. One wife at a time. Jacob had 2 wives. Talk about trouble, huh? Jacob's trouble. He was 77 years old when he married Leah. Israel is 77 years old this year in May, just a month ago. Okay? I realized that last fall when people were saying, oh, the feast of